What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Omar Apollo's second album, God Said No. Omar Apollo, alt R&B singer, made a lot of noise with his debut album, Ivory, from 2022. Monster hit off that evergreen. Some TikTok buzz helped with that one. But Omar Apollo, I think, to me, kind of came out of nowhere, but became a pretty critically acclaimed artist. Was nominated for Best New Artist at the Grammys coming off that debut album. He did not win, losing to Samara Joy. You can make a case maybe he should have won. Omar opened up for SZA on a recent tour, also opened up for Billie Eilish a little bit as well. So the star has been rising, and we got the second album from Omar 2 weeks ago. I had missed it last time because there was just so much music out that week, but I wanted to circle back because he is a significant artist. And I actually think he's pretty good. Omar Apollo doesn't make the kind of music that's usually my speed, but I have to say his second album, God Said No, thought really surprised me, impressed me. The subject matter, the lyrics, not a shock if you've listened to his music before. This is very raw, emotional, vulnerable music, singing, very forlorn about the ending of a relationship. It's quite frank in that regard. But what really stood out to me is just how I think interesting and varied and involved musically this album is. While Omar's vocals are consistently impassioned and the vibe he's going for comes across, the production and the instrumentation is what really shines to me. There's a lot of fun flair, playing with harmony, going up and down tempo. The song Less of You is a straight up 80s synth pop, super high tempo, heavy auto-tune banger, if there is such a thing on this album. Omar gets in touch with his Mexican heritage just a little bit on the song Empty. The second verse is in Spanish lyrics, the only moment of Spanish on this album, although he had done that in the past album. Against Me, there's almost like a hip-hop rapping delivery at times from Omar. So I think there's just a lot here, a lot to kind of dig into. And even if you're not super into the really emotional type music that this certainly is, I think musically there's just enough to interest you. So in that sense, to me, Omar Apollo's God Said No, it's pretty all encompassing. There's something for everyone to me. Just kind of going through some of the songs here. I thought Be Careful With Me, the first song, really stood out with those bass hits. I thought the Me hook from Omar, very sticky. I like that one a lot. Track 2, Spite, one of my favorite songs on the album. The guitar lick, very noticeable. Very lively chorus performance from Omar, but the verses are quite fun and up-tempo as well. So the energy really lasts with this song, and the drums pick up as the song progresses. I think this one's a clear highlight. I mentioned Less of You, which is really kind of an outlier in terms of the production, just being so heavy synth pop. It's not usually the type of music he makes, but it stood out to me. I think he did it well. The auto-tune, very Daft Punk-esque in its execution, but I think it worked pretty well. Track 4, Done With You, just great singing from Omar. I like this one quite a bit. The doubled vocals, I think, really shine on this one. The guitar breakdown on the hook, the horns popping up, really involved. I like this one. Plain Trees featuring Mustafa. This one's a bit slow, didn't really grab me. Drifting, I enjoyed the pulsing bass, kind of the first time you get that vibe on the album. I mentioned Empty with the Spanish vocals. Against Me with some pseudo rapping. Pedro, one of the most kind of heartbreaky lyrical songs. The auto-tune use on that one was pretty good. Overall, I think the album is better at the beginning than the end, but 14 songs, 45 minutes, doesn't really get boring production-wise. Omar's vocals are there the entire time, and there's just a lot of variety. I think it's a really impressive album. Given that he already got a Grammy nomination before for Best New Artist, I would not be shocked to see him compete in some of the R&B general field categories, next time. And that would be next year's Grammy. So we'll see about that. I think it would certainly be well earned. But let me know, what was your favorite song on Omar Apollo's second album, God Said No? What did you like about it in general? And for more music reviews, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.